Welcome to all. In the first lecture, we have seen analog communication. Now, we are going to see the digital communication fundamentals. Fundamentals of digital communication and data transmission. The outline for today's lecture is what is communication, analog to digital conversion, source coding, channel coding, modulation techniques. Then, lastly, we are going to see the part 2 of modulation techniques. What is communication? Communication is transferring data reliably from one point to the another. The data could be any kind, it may be voice, video, or codes, text, etc. It is important to receive the same information that was sent from the transmitter. The communication system is used for the communication. How we can define a communication system? A system that allows transfer of information reliably. This is the typical block diagram of communication system. The first block is having information source, transmitter, then channel for transmitting information, receiver and information sink, that is the end user. The information source, that is nothing but the source of data, where we know that data may be human voice, data storage device CDs, videos, text, etc. Data types can be of two types. Discrete data type. Finite set of outcomes are called as discrete data types, and these are digital data. Zeros or ones can be used as digital data. Continuous data types. Infinite set of outcomes are analog data types, it is called. Transmitter. Transmitter converts the source data into a suitable form for transmission through signal processing. Data form depends on the type of channel we have used. The channel is the physical medium used to send the signal. The medium where the signal propagates till that signal will arrive to the end user or to the receiver. The physical mediums or physical channels may be of two kinds, the wired medium or wireless medium. Wired mediums are twisted pair wires, coaxial cables, fiber optics, whereas wireless mediums include air, vacuum and water. Each physical channel has a certain limited range of frequencies, that is the minimum frequency f minimum to the maximum frequency f max, that is called as the channel bandwidth. Physical channels have another important limitation, which is the noise. The noise is nothing but the undesired random signal or unwanted signal that corrupts the original signal and degrades it. The noise resources may be electronic equipment in the communication system, it may be thermal noise or atmospheric electromagnetic noise, interference with another signals that are being transmitted at the same channel. Another limitation of noise is the attenuation that weakens the signal strength as it travels over the transmission medium. Attenuation increases as the range of frequency increases or frequency of communication increases. One last important limitation is the delay distortion. Mainly this will be occurred in wire transmission, whereas delays the transmitted signal or it will violate the reliability of the communication system. At the receiver, what is a receiver? Receiver is extracting the message or code in the received signal. For example, speech signal is transmitted by the transmitter is converted into electromagnetic waves to travel over the channel. Once these electromagnetic waves are received properly, the receiver converts it back to a speech form. The information sink is nothing but the final stage of the communication, that is whatever the information sent from the source that will be received by the end user. Here we can see the signal is a sinusoidal signal, original signal that we are transmitting. This is the noise that will get introduced into the original signal, and we have a signal, sum of signal plus noise like this. This will show you what is the effect of noise on a transmitter signal, how the transmitter signal will be looking like here. Digital communication system comprises of information source, analog to digital converter, source encoder, then channel encoder, modulator. Then afterwards signal will be transmitted over the channel. At the receiver end we have a demodulator, channel decoder, since in the transmitter side we have encoded the channel decoder, then the source decoder. Signal is in digital form. Now we have to convert this digital signal into the analog signal. So the next block is digital to analog converter, and at last the signal will be given to the information sink. Information source. There may be two kinds of information source. Analog data, microphone, speech signal, images, videos, etc. are nothing but analog data. Discrete digital data, that signal can be or the information can be given with the help of keyboard. It may be binary numbers, hex numbers, etc. Analog to digital converters will be used as this will apply sampling, converting continuous time signal to a digital signal. What is an analog to digital converter is, analog to digital converter will have the first process of sampling, converting continuous signal into the digital signal. Next is the quantization, converting the amplitude of the analog signal to a specific digital value. After that, coding of this digital value, assigning a binary code to each finite amplitude in the signal. Source encoder. This source encoder represents the transmitted data more efficiently and remove redundant information. That is how write versus write. Speech signal frequency and human error 20 kHz. Two types of encoding: lossless data compression encoding and lossy data compression encoding. Lossless data compression, data can be recovered without any missing information in this kind of encoding. In lossy data compression, smaller size of data will be available, but again the disadvantage is some sort of data may be missing or data may get removed during the encoding. So we could not recover that data again. Channel encoder, to control the noise and to detect and correct the errors that can occur in the transmitted data due to the noise, is the function of channel encoder. Modulator will represent the data in a form to make it compatible with the channels. Carrier signals are having high frequency signals. Demodulator, this will remove the carrier signal and reverse the process of modulator. Channel decoder detects and corrects the errors in the signal gained from the channel. Source decoder, this will decompresses the data into its original format. Now, at the receiver end, we have to convert the digital data into the analog signal, or digital to analog conversion will be required. So, D to A converter will be used. So, this will reverses the operation of analog to digital converter. This will needs the techniques and knowledge about sampling, quantization and coding methods. And at the end, the information will get to the information sink to the end user. Why should we use the digital communication? Because it will give the age of regeneration. The signals are nothing but pulses having two values, zeros and ones, and it is easy to use repeaters. Noise immunity, better noise immunity or better noise handling when using repeaters that repeats the original signal. Easy to differentiate between the values either 0 or 1. Ease of transmission will be there. That is, less errors will occur. It is very faster than analog signals and better productivity will be given by the digital communication. Again, ease of multiplexing is also with the digital communication. This will transmitting several signals simultaneously. Use of modern technologies, so and also with less cost. Ease of encryption, security and privacy will be guaranteed. It handles most of the encryption techniques. Again, in spite of having lots of advantages, there are some of the major disadvantages of digital transmission is that it requires a greater transmission bandwidth or channel bandwidth to communicate the same information in digital format as compared to the analog format. Another disadvantage of digital transmission is that digital detection requires system synchronization, whereas analog signals generally have no such requirements. The next point that we are going to cover is analog to digital conversion. The digital communication systems, as we know here, is second block is analog to digital converter at the transmitter side. So basic concepts in these signals we will see. Analog to digital converter is the process of converting an analog signal to the digital signal in order to transmit it through a digital communication system. Electrical signal or electric signals can be represented either in time domain or frequency domain. That is, we can get the value of that signal at any time of t by substituting in the v of t equation. From the above equation we can find the signal. So time domain representation of signal is also given here. On x axis we can see time is given in seconds, and on y axis amplitude of the signal is given. Whereas in frequency domain, the same signal we can represent on x axis frequency in hertz has been given, and on y axis amplitude of the signal. So converting an analog signal to a discrete signal, that is A to D, can be done through three basic steps. First is sampling, then quantization and coding. What is sampling? We already well known about the sampling. Is a process of converting the continuous time signal to a discrete time signal. Sampling is done by taking samples at specific time spaced regularly. V of t is an analog signal, consider, and V of nts is the sampled signal, where ts will represent positive real number that represent the spacing of the sampling time, and n is sample number integer. This is one of the example of sampling. Here is the continuous time signal before sampling has been given, and the sampled analog signal after sampling, that will be sampled to the specific values. 1, this is something greater than 1.5 to 2. So this is the sampled analog signal after sampling, having some discrete values at the specific time interval. The closer the TS value, the closer the sampled signal resembles to the original signal. Note that we have lost some values of the original signal, the parts between each successive samples. We can recover these samples, but how? Can we go back from the discrete signal to the original continuous signal? Yes. We will see first the sampling theorem. A band limited signal having no spectral components above f max of in hertz can be determined uniquely by values sampled at uniform intervals of t(s) of seconds, where an analog signal can be reconstructed from a sampled signal without any loss of information if and only if it is band limited signal. The sampling frequency is at least twice the original signal bandwidth, that is Ts is less than or equal to 1/2 into f max. Next step in the analog to digital conversion is quantization. After sampling, we have to quantize the signal. Quantization is a process of approximating a continuous range of values, very large set of possible discrete values by a relatively small range of values, small set of discrete values. Continuous range will have the infinite set of values, whereas discrete range will have some finite set of values. Dynamic range of a signal, that we can see here the signal, the difference between the highest to the lowest value the signal can take is, this is the maximum signal value, whereas this is the dynamic range. And how we can define this dynamic range is maximum signal value to the minimum signal value. In the quantization process, the dynamic range of the signal is divided into L amplitude levels denoted by Mk, where k may be integers 1, 2 up to L. L is an integer having power of 2. L is equal to 2 raised to k. K is the number of bits needed to represent the amplitude level. For example, if we divide the dynamic range into 8 levels, L is equal to 8, and that can be represented as 2 raised to 3, where k will become is equal to 3, as we need 3 bits to represent each level. Okay, here is one of the example of quantization is given. Suppose we have an analog signal with the values between 0 to 10. If we divide the signal into 4 levels, we have M1 between 0 to 2.5, M2 2.5 to 5, M3 5 to 7.5, M4 7.5 to 10, and this is the continuous signal. These values we can now have to quantize it. So for every level we assign a value for the signal if it falls within the same level. That is Q of V of t, M1 1.25 if the signal is M1. In M1, then we are assigning the M1 value, that is 1.25. For M2 it may be 3.75 if the signal in M2. Respectively M3 and M4 having the different values, M3 and capital M3 and capital M4. What we are doing here is, in the initial we can see the small value of M1, M2, M3. These having range from 0 to 2.5, 2.5 to 5, 5 to 7.5, 7.5 to 10. Now what we are doing is, we are assigning a fixed level. That is, if the signal is in M1, that is 0 to 2.5, we are assigning it to 1.25. For signal 2.5 to 5, we are assigning 3.75 as the value, and respectively. So what should be, or how should be our signal will look like now? This is the original signal before quantization. After quantization we have the signal like this. What we did here is, according to the signal where it will fall, in which range, we have assigned a fixed value to that range. For M1 1.25, M2 3.75, M3 6.25, and for M4 it is 8.75. Here another example of quantization we can see. This is the original signal. Discrete signal has been given having different values before quantization. When we are quantize it to the specific value, we can have the difference between two these signals. See the sample number 3 and 4, they are having discrete values, different values, but after quantization both signals will show you the same level here. So accordingly this is the result after the quantization. For the signal for negative, these 4 samples will be shown here like this. The more quantization levels we take, the smaller the error between the original and the quantized signal. Quantization step can be defined as delta is equal to dynamic range divided by number of quantization levels. This dynamic range is S max minus S minimum divided by N. The smaller the delta, the smaller the error. The next step, that is coding in the analog to digital converter. First we have seen sampling, then quantization, and now encoding, or we can call it as coding. Assigning a binary code to each quantization level. In the previous we have seen there are different quantization levels. Now for these quantization levels, for example this is first quantization level, second, third, fourth, accordingly for these levels now we are going to assign the binary code. For example has been given here, we have quantized a signal into 16 levels. The coding process is done as the following. For example, these are the steps 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 50, and codes are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 and respectively up to 1, 1, 1. Means for each step we are having a code which is having 4 bits. So for step number 4 it is 0, 1, 0, 0. For step 8 1, 0, 0, 0. 12 it is 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay. The binary codes are represented as pulses. Pulse means 1 and no pulse means 0. Here in this we can see there is no pulse, it will be represented, this level will be represented by 0, and for pulse this level will be represented by 1. Okay. So after coding process, the signal is ready to be transmitted through the channel. It means that if I want to code 0001, how we can code is here 0001, and this is 10, 0000 111. Respectively, we can code the signals. The signal is ready after the coding to be transmitted through the channel, and therefore completing the analog to digital conversion of an analog signal. So till now what we have seen is, in the analog to digital or in communication system, first block is this information source, second block is analog to digital converter. That analog to digital converter must have to follow the 3 steps: sampling, quantization and coding. So after that we have the channel encoder, source encoders, that we will see into the next lecture. So today up to this what we have seen is what is the information sources and analog to digital conversion blocks will do in the digital communication. So in next lecture we are going to see the modulation techniques used into the digital communication, encoding of the channels and source. Thank you.